Yo, what's up, everyone? I want to give you guys some advice when it comes to what do you do if you're growing up without a father in your life or without a good father in your life? Growing up without a dad present, a good dad present in your life can be an extremely, it's one of the most serious things in terms of your development as a person. Many people face different psychological, mental, emotional issues because they grow up without a strong father, and good father is even more important than a strong father. A good father in their life, an ethical father in their life. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you some advice on if you're in that situation, growing up without a good dad in your life, or any dad in your life. If you're growing up in this situation, I'd like to give you some advice on what you can do. First, I'm going to tell you first what you can expect if you're growing up in this situation, what you can expect, the challenges that you can expect. Okay, I'm gonna lay out basically two main ones, and then I'm gonna explain to you. I'm gonna give you some advice on how you can overcome these challenges. And it's important for me to make this video because one of the best or one of the most accurate predictors of how do people get involved in crime, how do people get involved in different activities which lead them into jail or and being killed, killing someone, or like I said, crime or different adult industries and so on, is the lack of joining a gang, all these things. Even if you don't do these kind of extreme things, it's even just being kind of emotionally uh, unwell, unstable. All of these things have a very strong correlation to lack of a present good father in your life. Okay, so it's important for me to make this to hopefully help to prevent some of these issues in your life and give you some guidance, hopefully. So, basically speaking, there are two main ways that not having a good father in your life will affect you. There's two main ways, maybe three. Okay, but there's two main and maybe one more. First is in terms of emotional stability. Okay, this is one, emotional stability. The next one is called discipline. Okay, so one is emotional stability, even you could call it psychological stability. The other one is discipline, which would be like more character discipline. And then maybe the final one would be something like a role model. Okay, for both boys and girls, a role model. So these are my three areas that I'm going to talk about. Okay, emotional stability, discipline, and role model. So emotional stability basically refers to how stable are your, as the word says, your emotions, okay, over time. How likely are you to stay in the generally positive mood versus how much do you fluctuate between extremely negative, depressed, anxious, worried to excited, happy, uh, maybe even manic to again depressed, anxious, scared, worried, like this. How much do you fluctuate? One of the main things that a present good father does for their children and their household overall is they provide a stable foundation. Okay, basically the point is that a good dad makes you feel secure and stable. Okay, because they are secure and stable. They are in control of their emotions. They project onto you positive emotions. They help you to feel safe when you feel negative emotions. When you're afraid, they give you a hug. They tell you everything's okay. When you're sad, again, they can give you a hug, tell you everything's okay. They can cheer you up. When you're happy, they can help you to find ways to express your happiness when you're excited, and so on, so on, so on. So they give you a safe, they create safety for you to explore your emotions, and they help to cut off the extreme ends of the emotions. Okay, they stop you from going to extremes in your emotions. They help you to calm down. They teach you things to help you to relax and calm down, things like this. This is the first thing, emotional stability. Now, if you're not growing up with a dad in your life or a good father in your life, you're very likely to be someone who is emotionally unstable. Okay, you change your emotions as the day goes. A thing happens, you feel extremely sad. Something else happens, you feel happy. Something else happens, you feel anxious. As you reach your teenage phase and later teenage phase, excuse me, your emotions will start to stabilize, but not in the right place, most likely. You're gonna most likely stabilize in terms of anxiety and sadness or depression. You're gonna fluctuate between feeling anxious, feeling sad, anxious, sad, anxious, sad, like that, fluctuate. Sometimes you'll feel okay, you'll feel happy, but most of the time you'll feel anxious, sad, anxious, sad. So, and this, if left unchecked, will continue to build up, and eventually you'll get to the point where you will experience extreme forms of either anxiety or sadness. So with the anxiety, it could be something like you could develop OCD. You could start to develop a personality disorder where you start to question yourself, intrusive thinking. Excuse me, you may start to question your identity. I don't know if this is who I am. I feel like I'm not in the right body. I don't understand reality. You might start to experience delusion. Okay. A lot of the dysmorphias come from here. Okay, body dysmorphia, gender dysmorphia, um, like anorexia or overeating, um, and so on. A lot of these uncertainties, instability, a lot of them come from this lack of present, good, safety, security providing father. Okay? So, and on the other side, the depression comes from the lack of safety and security from the angle of being overwhelmed with pain and having no protection against it and feeling like the world is just a painful place and then being consumed by that. And this can take you to a very dark place, which is called like nihilism. You feel like the world's pointless, everything's pointless. You don't, because you're not old enough or wise enough yet to answer the deeper questions of life. I made a video on it. Please watch it if you're confused about this stuff. Um, and so you get kicked down a spiral, a black hole, which you don't have the tools to properly address. And this can lead you into a life of crime and things like this because you think like, okay, the world is terrible anyway. Let me just do what I have to do to get ahead. Okay, other people are evil and so on and so on. Emotional instability. Okay, so what I'm gonna teach you to deal with this emotional instability and to deal with your anxiety and depression. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna teach you two things. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna teach you is just the very, very basics of how to make yourself relaxed, how to calm yourself when you feel this anxiety or you feel depression start to kick in, how to relax. Okay, fundamentally, the easiest way to relax is to practice deep breathing. Okay, and deep breathing is very simple. It's just breathing from your stomach or diaphragm rather than from your chest. So breathing from your diaphragm is like this. So you're breathing from like down here. You can hear me like my voice even gets a bit deeper when I do it. Versus when you're breathing from here, it's very shallow. You can't really breathe that much. It's like you're stuck up here somewhere. Okay, now when you have a panic attack, when you panic, all your breathing happens from here and it's shallow. Okay, it's like that. Huh? When you breathe deep from your diaphragm, your stomach, your abdomen, It's what you do when you're relaxed, basically, like that. Okay, so when you start to feel anxious, or even you should just do it pretty much every day, I'd recommend. Okay, here's my practice for you if you're in this situation. You have emotional instability. Every day, I want you to practice deep breathing for 5 minutes. Okay, you can consider this your meditation. If you want to put on some meditation music or whatever to go along with it, that's fine. Or some sounds, whatever ambience. But for 5 minutes every day, I want you to meditate with your deep breathing. All you have to do, okay, is just focus on your deep breathing. That's it. Do it every morning when you wake up, or if you don't have time because you wake up late and you need to go to school or college or uni, whatever, or your work, do it before you sleep at night. Okay, and it will actually help you to sleep better. So 5 minutes, okay, deep breathing. Just focus on your breathing. Don't focus on anything else. You don't need to say anything to yourself. You don't need to memorize anything. Just breathe. That's it. Okay. Learning to do this, learning to do this will greatly improve your relaxation. And when you're relaxed, you can think better and you can have more control over your emotions. Okay, there's the first part. Now, the second part, alongside meditating, which will actually make a big difference for you, is uh, is this to recognize, okay, that you are the one who is driving the car. Okay, to recognize that you are the one who is in control over yourself. You have what they call agency. Okay, you're playing the character. The controller is in your hand. Okay. Now, this breaks down into many different things like retraining your mind by stopping negative types of thoughts when they pop up and replacing them. For example, if you have thoughts a lot of, you think negatively about things going bad, you tell yourself, no doom thinking, no doom thinking, no doom thinking, like that. You can control it. And then you combine it with a deep breathing, it's helpful. But it also goes into things like recognizing you can decide what you place importance on in terms of things you go through. This thing happened. This thing happened. I don't have to give this thing power over me. I can decide that it's not actually important. Okay? And so on. But the main point is you have to recognize, okay, that you're not a victim in terms of you're not being controlled by other people. You are in control and in charge of yourself fully. Okay? If you if you um if you understand this and you fully embrace this idea, this will also go a long way in terms of you controlling your emotions and becoming more stable in your emotions. Okay, because this will also help you to get into things like stoicism, where you can think about what can I control, what's in my control, what's not in my control, and so on, like that. Okay, but anyway, the point is, okay, you are in control over yourself. Okay, your life is in your hands. You're in control of yourself. You have agency. Okay, and deep breathing. Meditate 5 minutes a day. Do these two things, they will greatly improve your emotional stability. Just these two things alone. Okay. Excuse me. Now, side things that can help once you implement these two is try to think about what would you like to feel. Yes. And then ask yourself, how would I need to act? What would I need to do to feel that way? Okay, and start doing those things. And the answer is not drugs, it's not alcohol, it's not showing off your body, it's not, uh, hooking up random people and all that. In a deep, meaningful way, what would I need to do? Or how do I want to feel? Okay, I want to feel positive, grateful, content, so on. Content, fulfilled. What would I need to feel that way? Okay, I need a purpose. I need a mission that I'm going to follow. I need good friends, or at least not bad ones. Even if I'm alone, I need not bad friends. Um, making friends if I can, even if they're just online, do what I can. I need something to do with my time. Uh, I want a job and so on. They can figure out like what kind of version of you would feel positive, and then go ahead and work towards that. And that's your mission that you can spend your time building. Okay, and that itself will make you feel good. Okay. Um. Yes. Okay. Now that's emotional stability. That's the first thing you need to teach yourself if you're growing up without a good father in your life. Okay. Next. Next is discipline. Discipline. So, fundamentally speaking, the basic role of a mother in the relationship, in the family dynamic, is to provide unconditional love. So, your mom loves you unconditionally. It doesn't matter what you do, so on. Naturally speaking, her role is unconditional love. She'll accept you no matter what. Okay, that's her job. Make you feel, make you have self-esteem, make you feel loved, make you feel validated, accepted. This is what a good mother does. Huh? Showers you in endless love, so you feel, you get kindness in your heart and you become a loving person. Also, that's her job. The role of the father, a good father, okay, is also to be loving, but it's not unconditional in terms of just showering you with, although he should be loving, but just showering you with. A father can't love like a mother can, okay, because she carried you inside her for 9 months. So you're attached, you're bonded in like a soul kind of level. The job of a father is, a good father, is to set strong rules, ethical, moral. They just mean here is the do's and don'ts, basically, which would help you to live as a good person and avoid living as a bad person. And to teach you the wisdom behind why we do them. Okay, to teach you be kind and then teach you why you should be kind and why it's better than being not kind. Okay, the wisdom behind it. Tell the truth. Why is that better than lying? How does the truth make you strong and lying makes you weak and so on, so on, so on like that. So the job of your father is supposed to teach you the virtues, the ethics, okay? And crucially to hold you to a standard, okay? A standard. Here's the rules, here's the expectations, here's the box. Don't go outside of this box in terms of your behavior, okay? So this is what it means by discipline. Now, if you don't have a good father in your life, okay, who is ethical, strong, wise, obviously this might be a lot to ask, but not really. So it's just basically someone who's worked on themselves until they became a dad. Yeah, it's not really complicated. Someone who grew up and worked on himself. It's just what they would do, okay, is they will love you and they will encourage you and teach you to be a good person. And they will stop you from being a bad one. They'll punish you and correct you when you start to go outside the ethical lines. Okay. Now, the problem with not having a good father in your life is that there is no one who is going to be able to do that for you. Your mother can only do it up until a certain age, but once you hit 14, 15, then you're not really listening to mom anymore. Huh? But, excuse me, what that means, okay, is, and, this is no hate to all the mothers that are raising their kids by themselves, they're doing their best, whatever. But if there's no good father in your life, what this means, okay, is that you're going to have a discipline problem. It means that you're going to find it hard to show up on time or be early to places. You're going to have a hard time keeping your word when you say, I'll be there. You're going to have a hard time following the rules. Okay, you're going to be likely to commit crimes, even just on a small level, speeding crime or um, little things like that. Right? You're not going to do your homework. You're not going to pay attention to the teacher. You're not going to be respectful to your elders and all that stuff. Okay, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. Now, this is going to start small. Okay, for some of you, it's going to start more extreme if you grow up in streets or whatever around. If the streets are around your house, you're going to have a more extreme version of this. But you need to essentially teach yourself to be disciplined. Because if you're not disciplined, you will be a failure. There's no other way around it. Okay? Discipline leads to success. Material success, personal success, ethical success, discipline. Discipline means I do the right thing. I don't do the wrong thing. This discipline. I do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it, even if I don't want to do it. That's discipline. I don't want to go to work today, but I need to go to work. I'm supposed to go to work. It's good for me to go to work. It's a good job, so I go. Or even more simply, forget about money and everything like that. I don't want to meet my friend to help him with his homework. But yesterday I told him that I was going to meet him. So even though I don't want to, I've not slept, whatever, I'm going to go because I gave him my word. So I'm going to go. I'm going to help him, even though I don't want to. Discipline. If you don't have discipline, you will be a failure in life. Okay? Because you will be the type of person that has no rules. Okay? Which might sound like fun, but what it means effectively is you are extremely open to every addiction that there is. Drug addiction, alcohol addiction, gambling addiction, any kind of addiction, you're open to it. You're open to being victim of it. You're also fundamentally weak. Okay? You're going to be the type of person that someone can get to do things. You can make yourself into a slave, basically. If someone gives you enough money, you'll do something. Whereas if you're disciplined, the money doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what's right, what's the right thing to do. Okay? Excuse me. So, discipline is fundamental. Now, how do you learn to be disciplined? Aristotle said, habits are formed by doing, or learning is by doing. I think he said habits are a practice, something like that. Or what did he say? He said virtue is a practice. One of them, I'm mixing up his words, but something like, I think he said something like virtue is a practice. It's doing. Okay? Or habits are doing. One of them. Anyway, the point is, it's by doing that, you can learn by doing. So if you want to be disciplined, practice being disciplined. And you can start one at a time. The first thing to do is work on the virtues. Okay? So work on the ones related to truth, for example. The easiest things to do, I'll give you even easier ones to do. Start showing up early to wherever you are supposed to go to. Make it a point that you are early, 5 minutes at least, early to places. Next, if you tell someone that you're going to do something or you're going to be somewhere, this is extremely important. Be there. It doesn't matter if it's snowing, if your car breaks down, if the bus stops working, if you have to walk. It doesn't matter. If it's raining outside, you don't have a jacket. It doesn't matter. You say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be here. You do it and you be there. Okay, make your word your bond. And so on like that. Dedicate, you say, okay, I'm going to work on this today. You work on it. I'm going to start building up this routine of good habits like that. I'm going to start saying no to things which I know are bad. Like I'm going to take conscious effort to avoid being a bad person ethically. Excuse me. I'm going to be disciplined. Okay? By doing, you can learn and you can master it. Okay? So this is the next thing that you need to learn. Everyone in jail is undisciplined until they get to jail and they have to do a stretch there and then they become disciplined because all the rules in there. But everyone who goes to jail is someone who has a discipline problem. Don't follow rules. They break the rules. And the point is, it's not about following rules like a nerd or something, even though nerds are, ain't nothing wrong with being a nerd. But it's not like following rules like a slave. It's about following it's following ethics, morals, like the rules of the universe, the rules of God, if you want to say something like that. Yeah, the rules of infinity, of being a good person. These are the rules that are important. If you want to be a good person, you need to be disciplined. Okay, that's number 2. So 1 is you need to teach yourself to be emotionally stable. 2 is you need to teach yourself to be disciplined. And the final thing is if you're growing up without a good father in your life, you're gonna lack a male role model. Okay, you're gonna lack a male model to, if you're a boy, model yourself off of, or if you're a girl, to model your future partner, or just men in general off of. Okay, you're gonna be confused about what are good men like. Okay, and even if you're a boy, same thing. You're gonna be confused. Actually, for both, you're gonna be confused. What is a good man like? You're gonna be lost. You're gonna be searching for the answer. What should a man be like? Okay, and this is gonna have problems in that if you're a boy asking this question, you're gonna have development issues in terms of figuring out how should I behave, how should I act, how should I talk, who am I, what's my identity, what do I do with my life, all of these questions. And this is how you end up finding a weak role model, pretending to be strong, like joining a gang, joining a religious cult, joining a scamming organization like get rich quick schemes, MLMs, this kind of thing. If you're a girl, this is how you end up. You might become a super feminist who is afraid of men. You think men are dangerous because you've heard stories about them. You're not really sure, you don't trust them. Or you might become someone who gets into multiple bad relationships because you are not exactly sure what makes a good man, and so you just basically are going off of straight how does he appear, um, and you're getting manipulated by people, by men who are basically seeing you as a target. Okay, and they are going to be abusive and all this kind of thing, and you're going to get traumatized, which is not good. So so what you need to do basically to solve this problem, okay, because you can't obviously do this one, with the other ones you can do it essentially in yourself. With this one, what you basically need to do, okay, is you need to find a model, a father figure for you, a good father figure or a good male role model, a model of what a good man is for yourself. Okay? Now, you can do this in different ways. You can do it through books. People do this through reading history or through reading. You can do it in different religious traditions. You can look at Jesus, you can look at Buddha, so on. You can do it with, as I said, history. You can do it with people like different legendary sports figures that you naturally are drawn to. Like for example, excuse me, like there are certain UFC champions. I'd say Alex Pereira is a very good role model. He seems to be very wholesome, very on this path. Seems to be, at least so far, up until this video has been recorded. He hasn't done anything which is contrary to that. In any case, you need to find a good model so you don't end up with the bad. Okay, because the bad will come along and try to take advantage of you, and you will fall for it if you don't know what the good is. So what I'll do for me, my last kind of advice for you is I'll describe what the good man is for you. Okay, so you can find this in whatever place you can find. Okay. So fundamentally speaking, the good man is a combination of the following things. Okay. Number one is virtue. This is number one. The good man is fundamentally ethical, virtuous. Okay. Which is why he's called good. He focuses on the virtues. This is his compass, the virtues. What are they? Truth. He's not a liar. He doesn't lie. He doesn't lie even when it benefits him. Okay, so he'll tell the truth even when it's against him. For him or against him, he does his best to tell the truth. That's number one. His business is honest. He doesn't scam people, he doesn't rip people off. He is extra careful to make sure that if he does business with someone, he doesn't cheat them. Even if he takes a slight loss on his end, he's extra careful to make sure that you don't take a loss. Okay, he's honest, super honest. He doesn't have people saying that he cheated me, he lied to me, he did this. He doesn't believe in these little tricks to make money. He finds that offensive. If you try to introduce him to some scheme or scam or something, he'll find it offensive. How dare you try to make me do something so weak? Like that's offensive to him. Trick someone for money. That's number one. He also, in terms of the truth, he says what he truly believes without trying to make himself appear bigger or like be arrogant. These kind of things. He tries to basically follow the truth wherever it takes him. He tries to be a worker on behalf of the truth, to speak the truth, to support the truth, and so on. But fundament is important. He does not ever claim to have all the truth himself. He always is seeking the truth. This is how you differentiate between a cult leader and a good person, a good man. The cult leader says, I have all the truth. Come, let me give it to you. The good man says, I am pursuing the truth. Here's what I have so far. In it, I might be wrong about some certain things. Tell me if I'm wrong and let me go and try and get more. Okay? Truth, that's one. The other one is courage. Courage is the fundamental, and I've talked about this in other videos too, but it's important, I guess, to mention again. Courage is the fundamental masculine virtue. Fundamental masculine virtue is courage. Now, women have a version of courage also. The female version of courage is the courage to bring life into the world, to risk your own life, to produce life. That's the female version of courage. The masculine version of courage is to face the dangers of the world, to protect life. That's the masculine virtue of courage. The woman brings life into the world. The man protects that life and her from all of the dangers of the world. The monsters, the volcanoes, the earthquakes, the predators, other men. He risks his life, he gives his life if necessary to protect life. That's courage. Even if he's scared, he doesn't want to, he's stressed, he's afraid, he's worried, he's anxious, he knows he's gonna die, still he volunteers himself to protect life. That's courage. The good man is like this, okay? And courage, again, is not aggressive, it's not arrogant, it's not here, look at me, I'm the hero. Courage is, I find myself in this situation, so I do what I have to do. It doesn't matter if I want to or not. Here's what I have to do, so I'm gonna do it. That's courage. Okay, now combined with these two, truth and courage, is love. That's the third one. You could also say kindness, you could also say, yeah, kindness or love. Those would be a good way to put it. Humility might be another way to put it. But basically, it's like the good man is strong in these ways. Okay, he tells the truth regardless of whatever happens. He's not a coward. He's brave. He's courageous. He steps forward against danger. But the difference between the good man, the good father, and the bad one, okay, is that the good man has love, or you could say kindness. In that, when the good when the good man meets other people, he is kind to them. He is polite with them, treats them nicely, especially if the people are weaker than him, vulnerable, like children, or weaker in terms of physical strength, like women. Or smaller men, something like this. Huh? He is very kind, very considerate. He doesn't push people around. He helps people up. If he's sitting somewhere and there's like an old person, he gives up his seat, politely says, you can take it. If someone is carrying the shopping and they're struggling, he asks them, do you need a hand? When he meets people, he shakes their hand warmly, nicely. He can be around children and they can like play with his mustache or whatever, and he can be just like harmless, like he's a child himself. Like I think there's a line in the Bible that says something like, "You will never enter heaven until you will never enter the kingdom of heaven until you become like small children," something like that, if I'm not wrong. In any case, there's another idea which is different, maybe from martial arts, I think. It says something like, be a lamb around, yeah, it's like be a lamb around the children and a lion around the wolves. Like that's like the good man. He's like, kids play around. They can jump on his, they can jump on him, jump on his head, all that stuff. They can be silly with him, and he plays like that. He's like he's just nice, friendly, kind, loving, considerate. But then when there's danger, real danger, he becomes strong against that danger. You see? Now, which is different from the bad person, the bad male, the bad, the unethical, not good man who is mean to people. He's mean to people. He's a liar. He's a coward. He picks on the weak. He's mean to people. He pushes people around. Takes all the credit. He's arrogant. He's boastful. He wants people to praise him. He wants people to kiss his feet. The good man has none of these things. The good man raises people up. He doesn't care about fame. He doesn't care about people. He would never allow someone to bow before him. He'll pick them up, say, "What are you doing?" So on. So now, aside from virtue, okay, aside from virtue, and there's other ones too, obviously, like justice, wisdom, pursuit of knowledge, and so on, constant growth, so on, so on, contentment, generosity, giving what he makes, and all that, and contentment, not being materialistic, being grateful, being happy, fulfilled, and all that stuff. Besides all these qualities, okay, uh, the other fundamental quality which the good man has is strength, 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 physical strength, mental strength, and spiritual strength, or you could call it inner strength. Yeah, this would include also like psychological, emotional, and so on. So fundamentally, the good man, like having a good father in your life, he is supposed to be unbreakable. Okay? None of your problems can break him at all. You can have the worst problem in the world, and he's not fazed by it. He can help you to figure it out. And he's there for you, no matter what happens. That's what the good man has. Okay? So try to find yourself a model. I don't want to say use me as a model because I'm not, um, yeah, I'm far from perfect. I just aim at being good, but I'm not like a good, I wouldn't claim to be good. I just try my best to be good. Okay? So try and aim. There's another idea. Another idea. I heard one time said, it's from like Islamic philosophy. Says, if you want a model, focus on those who are dead. Because the dead have already lived their lives. There's nothing that they can surprise you with. In other words, the dead have already they've done their thing. Like their life is documented. So with the living person, sometimes they can make a mistake here and there. In any case, I try my best to be a good model. I try and share what I've learned over the years. Um, so if you do use me as your model, just recognize that I'm not perfect and I've got a bunch of flaws to my character. So, but I will try to be a good model. But I'm not perfect. I grew up in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in the ghetto, man. So, so yeah. Okay. But anyway, this is what you need to do. Okay, if you're growing up without a good father in your life, without any father in your life, you need to teach yourself to become emotionally stable, disciplined, and find for yourself a good, authentic role model that you can model yourself. You know, you can understand, okay, this is what a good man is like. So you can compare any man that you meet yourself, if you're a boy, you can compare like to that. And you can like aim at it as a as a example. Okay. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments and I'll try to get to them. All right. Good luck with everything, and God bless.